Good afternoon. We are going to be installing Timbren SES suspension on our Ram 3500. So got the Timbren SES suspension here. We do have a dually 3500, but our Brinkley here is a pretty heavy tongue weight camper. So 3610, washer, dryer, all this stuff up in the front has quite a bit of tongue weight. So in the box, we're going to have the rubber spring part of the Timbren SES. We're going to have one for each side, of course. We're going to have the brackets. So I'll show you, we're going to be removing the factory bump stops. These brackets replace that. And then we have these spacers, which I'll show you how if we need these spacers or not on our truck once I get the bump stops removed. So I can basically, you just set your clearance from the, that's upside down, sorry. You just set your clearance from the axle so that you have the correct spacing that way so you get into the load right away. So, other thing in here I didn't show was hardware. You got two different lengths for attaching the rubber springs to the mount. I'll show you mounting them. If you use these pucks, you'll use the longer springs, no pucks, use the, or sorry, longer bolts, no pucks, use the shorter bolts. So I'm going to get under there, remove the bump stops, show you guys that, and show you guys how we do the spacing check here. So here's the factory bump stop above the axle on Ram 3500. This will be a 16 millimeter socket. So just jump up in here, one on each side, and so I'm going to pop the other side loose and then grab the Timbren rubber spring and mount and the total SES package, show you how we tell if we need the spacer or not. Okay, so I have this up here just finger tight at the moment. It's not tight. That's because I need to check the clearance of the rubber spring for the SES, and what you want when you're unloaded is a ½ inch to 1.5 inches of clearance to the axle. So if I put the spacer in there as well, we're going to be sitting right at a ½ inch basically, and with it out it's going to be just over 1.5 inches. So it's going to be a little bit dependent on what you're towing, how much weight you're putting on the truck, and how much the suspension compresses. If you're having a lot of compression, you might want to run it in a little bit tighter setting so the springs are helping you sooner. Mine does settle at least that far, so I might run it like this and then add the other ones if I need more. But I'm going to actually attach it to this, you know, off to the side, because it's going to be a lot easier to put the bolts in. The other thing to note when you're installing this bracket is it is left and right, so the slot goes to the rear, and when you're looking at this, if you put it on this side, the bracket would be too close to the suspension, whereas this one is about right spacing there, so you don't have to worry about anything. So make sure you pay attention to the left and the right, otherwise it's going to be good to go. So I used a socket and extension, put the bolt in there, and then I fed this through vertically. That's kind of the easiest way. Then you just take this, flip it onto your bracket, get it started by hand so you know it's going good. This is a lock nut, so you do need to give it a little bit of torque to get it all the way down. So once it's tight, you're kind of good to go. I'm going to jump underneath, install this now, and then we'll jump to the other side. So we're back underneath, got our assembled Timbren SES here that we're going to have the first bolt kind of most of the way tight, so we can just tighten it a little bit with the wrench. Then we slide it on, get our other bolt started on the other side here, and then once we get that going, I'll tighten it up. But so this is what it should look like when we're all installed, both bolts tightened up here. I'm going to install the other side, and then we'll go back to get some after footage here when we're towing. To learn more about the Timbren SES, visit Timbren.com.